start out, maybe talk about the first 2 days of practice.
Okay. It's been good to get on the field. It happened quick. I guess when you play that late, it seems like you're on the field a lot quicker, but that's been a good thing. The best part of the first 2 days, our guys, you can tell they've had a lot of energy. They've been excited to practice. And so that's what I've been proud of offensively. It's been good energy, good intensity, and obviously there's great carryover, which has been good. It's been refreshing for us as coaches. We've, for the most part, we can coach the finer details and more the execution than teaching the scheme as much, which has been really good. So first 2 days, only been in helmets, but been solid overall.
Rhett, last spring you guys worked on becoming a physical football team. Is that going to be a big point of emphasis again?
I think so. I mean, we put the pads on the next practice. I think coaches still want to have a real tough physical spring. I mean, that's what we got to do to win. We got to be very tough, and so that's not going to change. The good thing is I think our guys know what the expectations are, so hopefully they'll embrace that. Kind of like they have the first few days of the tempo and the way we want to practice. I feel like they've flown around pretty good. So, but yeah, we got to be tough.
What are your first impressions of Will Williams and Stanton Truitt out there? They grasp things faster than you wanted? I mean, you expected, or how are they doing?
You know, really, we've got 4 guys on offense that it is new for, and I think all 4 are doing a great job. You know, when you look at Dakiel and you look at Stanton at a receiver position, you got Chris Lay at the tight end H-back, and you got a center and Xavier Dampier. Those aren't just easy positions to walk in and play, and they've done a really nice job. I mean, I think the older guys have helped them. But they're picking it up pretty quick. I mean, there's every now and then a bust here or there, but that's to be expected. But for the most part, they're picking it up, and they're doing some good things, all of them. So I think naturally the more comfortable they get, the even better they'll play. But we've been pleased.
Will's raw ability, how impressive is that to see him out there?
You can tell why we needed him and why we wanted him. I mean, he's got God-given abilities that are really good, and I think he'll really add value to our receiving corps. Right now, like I said, he's just getting acclimated to how we practice. I think it's a little different probably than he's ever experienced before, and he's done a great job. I mean, the best thing, he's had a great attitude. I mean, he's worked hard, he's bought in, he's blended in with his teammates great. And the cool thing for me is we got a lot of talented wideouts now, I think, and those guys are pulling for each other, and they're competing, but to push each other, not against each other. So that's been good.
Rhett, what role will he fill? Is he a 9, a 5? Where does he fit?
You know, as far as where they're all going to end up, I can't tell you. Right now, we put him in one spot. We put him in kind of our 9 position, and just letting him get reps. And the way we've always worked is with new guys, we put them in one spot, and once they get the offense down, they feel comfortable, then we either decide, hey, that's where they need to stay, or then we say, hey, that's a guy we can move around. Right now he's playing more of that X-bounded receiver, and but we'll just see if he moves more at the end of spring or if that's later on down the road.
Rhett, how important is it this spring, particularly, to find the second and third option in the passing game, to try to give some options?
I think it's huge. I mean, like I said, I feel like this time last spring we had like 6 receivers or something. It was crazy. We're 2 deep at every position. Some were 3, which is a really, really good luxury to have because we can really get practice reps. We can really push them. And not only that, they compete. I mean, they push each other. And so we got to have some other guys step up. I think they will. We got some younger guys. You look at Tony Stevens, Marcus Davis, even Ricardo Lewis that played last year. You expect them to make great strides. You expect guys like a Sammy Coates and Quan Bray and those guys to continue to improve. And then you add new guys like Duke and Stanton. I mean, I think we've got some options. And, we obviously need more than one to step up, and I think they will.
With so much of last year being speaking about that Nick didn't go through spring, what are the goals for him in this opportunity and this chance?
Well, I mean, the one thing I've been pleased with the first 2 days, I feel like Nick has had a real calmness about him and a confidence, not from his ability, from just, hey, I know what to do. I know the plays, I know the reads, I know where to go with the ball. And I think that's been huge because now we can really work on our footwork, work on our accuracy, work on the finer details of our position. And my expectations are obviously our completion percentage to go way up, our execution level to go way up, because I think more so now it's not trying to learn on the go and still play well. I kind of know what to do now. It's all about executing.
When you have a quarterback coming back for the first time and it's in year 2, how does that change the plan for reps in the spring practice?
In this case, I don't know if it changes the number of reps. What it allows us to do as coaches is get things in quicker, get our base offense in quicker, and then maybe build on those things, take it to another level, or even, you know, dabble in some things in spring that we want to look at, things that we think our personnel and our system we could do to add value to what we already do. I think it gives us the confidence we can open it up a little more and run the whole offense and even add to some things based on what we have, whereas probably in fall camp it was, hey, let's just get a few things in and get good at it. It just lets us expand. And right now, with Nick, Jeremy, and Jonathan, I don't see any limitations from a scheme standpoint. This has been good.
So what kind of role do you see like Stanton actually emerging? Obviously, he's kind of smaller in stature kind of guy.
Yep.
We saw him kind of going in the backfield a little bit. What do you think he can do?
Boy, Stanton's fast. You know, and right now we're just putting him in one spot, trying to get him just acclimated to everything. But he can really run. That's what we liked about him. He's similar in size to Marcus Davis, so that slot position fits him well. But you know, when you look at a lot of things we do with reverses and jet sweeps, I would think down the road those are things that he might be a candidate for. I don't know if Coach Fountain's got any plans in returning him. The kid can run. And he's a great kid. He's a smart kid. He's picking things up well. So we'll just see how his role expands. But you know, we're excited about his potential.
As a staff, when you lose a guy like Greg Robinson up front, what kind of drop-off are you guys expecting and preparing for?
You know, anytime you lose a player of the caliber of Greg, I mean, you expect some sort of drop. But I really don't think it'll be a huge noticeable difference. I mean, one thing is you got 4 returning guys, so you would hope all 4 of them are better. So that makes your line better. And then when you look at Sean Coleman, Pat Miller, some of the guys that are candidates for that spot, I mean, we feel like all those guys have the potential to play at the next level too. So, and then you couple them with J.B. Grimes. I got a lot of confidence that they're going to fit in. Those guys got a lot of reps. Obviously, Pat and Sean both played some last year, so it's not like they're just true freshmen trying to break in.
Was Pat still the first one to take first team?
We're just kind of rotating those guys right now. I mean, between Pat and Sean, there's really no separation at all. We don't even put pads on. So Coach Grimes is kind of rotating them. We just kind of take it day to day, and that could shift daily. Their receiver at a lot of positions.
Avery Young, is he going to stay over on right side? And also, what do you expect out of Avery this year?
For right now, he is. You know, the thing about Avery, you can see he just really matured last year, and I think he could develop into a big leader for us up there, along with Reese and Kozan. And Avery's a versatile kid. Now, Avery is talented enough to play all the spots, I really believe. But we're going to keep him at right tackle right now. We have no plans to do any different. We're letting those other guys kind of fight it out over there. And like I said, our biggest emphasis on what we've told our guys is, hey, we got people worried about who's 1, who's 2, who's 3. We're going to shuffle some things around through spring. We're more worried about and want them to be concerned about where we're at the end of spring. After practice 15, now where you at in the depth chart. That's when it'll matter.
You mentioned Nick Marshall's completion percentage improving that 59.4 last fall. What would be a good number to hit in the spring during scrimmage or in the fall?
You know, I think between 65 and 70 would be great. You know, if we're getting in the close to 65%, that's going to show improvement. And so that's, I think, the first step. You know, I think we've got the ability, hopefully, to push the ball down the field a little more. Those are lower percentage completion, no matter what league you're in. So we got to be efficient, and we got to try to get really good at what we're doing. But yeah, I'd hope to be closer to 65.
Even with 14 games under his belt, can spring, another fall camp and everything, can Nick really improve that dramatically?
I think so. I mean, I think it's huge for, and I know we're going to focus on Nick, but you took it, Jeremy, he's a true freshman, you know, and now he's going to get his first spring and another summer and another fall. I really think the sky's the limit. You know, it's all a matter of if we can just continue to improve on those finer points, but there's no question having those extra 45 practices or so is going to be a big plus.
When everybody talks about Nick, they say zone read, zone read. What do you hope they say about him next time?
I hope this time next fall that you know, they just feel like he's a truly complete quarterback. I think he's got the talent. I know it matters. He cares about it. It matters to him. And he's got a really live arm. I mean, he's got good arm talent, and I think the more and more comfortable he feels, I think it was evident in the season. As the season went on and he got more games under his belt, I think you were able to see him improve in certain areas. And, you know, now you just hope he's well-rounded. It's not a deal where they say, hey, if we can stop him running the ball, we beat him, or hey, if we can take away the deep ball, we beat him, or hey, if we can take away this. You hope it's, hey, whatever they want to take away, that's great, we're going to beat him with the other thing. He's a well-rounded, complete player, and you can take what they give you.
He says he wants a chance to play quarterback in the NFL. Do you think he's got that upside to be able to get to that?
Oh, I think without question. I mean, everybody says it because he's talented enough to do a lot of things probably at the next level, but I don't think there's any doubt in my mind or his mind that You know, first of all, he's worried about being the quarterback for Auburn, but if he matures and develops the way he's capable of, I would see no reason why he wouldn't be a quarterback.
Talking about ball security, you know, that was one of the concerns last year. Having the practice time now to not focus on a game plan, how much does that help him in terms of techniques? and
Huge. I
function?
mean, hey, we broke down our whole season, and we had what we called the disasters, what we had the explosives, and we looked at it. And the ball was on the ground too much for a variety of reasons. It wasn't all just because I'm running and fumble, but and even the ones we lost didn't lose. So that's been a huge point of emphasis at all positions, but especially with Nick and at quarterback. And you know, I pretty much take a period every day, and I do a lot of the same drills Tim Horton does with the running backs with those guys. Because the reality of it is, and if you look at, we studied our fumbles, it's when they're making a move or in traffic, you spin, you make a cut, that ball leaves your body. There's just a lot of little things that we're really emphasizing because you know, our turnover numbers overall were okay, but we want to be the best. We got to get better.
You obviously have a pretty